Webinars and how to survive them. I'm sharing it all in today's video. Hi, I'm Victoria Gibson and I'm bringing women together so they can make a bigger impact in their business and create success on their own terms. So, webinars, scared? You should be. They are a bit scary, it's fine, but they're also super powerful. They're a super powerful way to establish your authority, your credibility, and sell your expertise in terms of packages and programs online without leaving your house, and you could even do it in your pajamas. I know, right? That was the most appealing part for me. But regardless, they're super powerful way of creating a presentation and creating, in essence, a sales presentation. Stacked full of value, you transmit it online, people listen in, and hopefully, if all goes well, at the end of the presentation, they buy. As in, they press a button online and buy something from you. Or you give them an invitation to have a call with you and you can enroll them in your high ticket programs that way. Regardless, webinars are a great way to build your list. They're a great way to build your confidence in what you're offering too. Practice getting really visible, and I know that's why you're already scared of doing them. And also they convert really well, okay? They're a really quick way to start to grow your business and start to get some sales in. So stop avoiding them. There's no need. There's just some stuff that you need to know, okay? So the biggest issue with webinars is really just tech stuff, okay? And I know none of us are technical geniuses and tech stuff can be overwhelming. And the first thing I get asked is, well, which webinar software should I use? And there's a few. There's the old stalwart GoToWebinar, which I use. It is expensive, but it's reliable and it's pretty robust. Then there's Webinar Jam that relies on Google Hangouts technology or Google technology. I think now it's called YouTube Live or something, but they've just changed it. So there's Webinar Jam that relies on that. There's also Webinar Ally from a good friend of mine, Natalie Lucier. It's a WordPress plugin. There's also another one that's quite reasonably priced, which is called Webinar Ninja. So there's a few that you could get started on, but basically you want to make sure that it's robust enough to make sure that you can get your presentation live, people can interact with you, see you in real time and interact with you. There's another layer that goes after that, and that's automated webinars. But if you're just starting out, don't go near automated webinars yet. We're just going to talk about the live thing, the real deal. I really want to see you practicing your webinars, okay? Your first one is generally not going to be some amazing success story, but what you can do is get the practice, get the value out to your audience and start a relationship with them. And you know, there is a fine art to selling on a webinar. There's a layout that you need to follow, right? Or a format that improves conversion. Now you can freestyle within that format, inject your own authenticity, your own value, your own credibility, your own teachings in the webinar within the structure that leads to conversions. First and foremost, you want to tell people why they're there, what they're going to learn, why it matters, and the outcome that they're going to get at the end of the training. Yes, it's free, right? They're coming for free to hear some great value, but they're still giving you their time. So you want to make it worth their while, and you want to make them understand straight away why they're there and what they're going to learn. Secondly, you want to introduce yourself and establish your credibility and authority. Thirdly, you want to probably start digging into the problem that they're experiencing, preferably the problem that you solve, right? So telling them, you know, how you relate to that problem, how that's showing up for them, and maybe you can tell it as part of your story, something that you've overcome or a client's overcome, or what you typically see, okay? So definitely get into the pain there, because what we want to do is transition to your teaching or your opening the door to the solution to that big problem. So what we'd like to teach in a webinar is generally your signature system, okay? It's going to obviously, yes, be a watered down version, because a lot of people say to me, but that's my program, so how can I give away all my information for free? Well, you can give away parts of it, and you can give away still great valuable content, and people will still be even more motivated to invest with you. So break it down into steps, and don't be afraid to go into the detail on those steps, and show examples and case studies wherever possible. Okay, so take them through the process, the tips that they need to know. But generally in that teaching part, then you're going to use up maybe about, generally say 20 minutes, okay? So, because we want the whole webinar presentation to be about an hour. You can go longer and they can do just as well, but generally an hour is a good period of time to keep people's attention and maximize conversions. So the teaching part, you want to go for about 20 to 25 minutes, and then you're going to transition to your offer. Now, this is the bit where everyone decides that they're going to rush through it, right? They're just like, oh, I have to sell, oh my God, I'm just gonna rush through it. Please don't buy my program. Don't do that, okay? Make sure that you go through the offer in detail with every single little element that they need to know in order to make the decision, right? Educate them. Otherwise, they don't know about your program like you know, okay? So make sure that you educate them and run through what you need to in order to get them to buy, okay? The second is, yes, present what the investment is, okay? Making sure that they know what they're going to invest in, and hopefully add a bit of a bonus, right? So add some kind of bonuses there. They call it often value stacking, so that you can really make sure that people know, wow, they're getting all this value in this one package price, right? So you might have the program, but you might also add a couple of live sessions with you, some recordings, a free book or something like that would be great. So stack the value there. Then create some time limitation on it, time limiters, right? Make sure that they know that in order to get the bonuses and to get this value, they need to make a purchasing decision or investment quickly, okay? So you can say for the next 10 people who are on the call only. That way, if you do have a replay, you haven't got it sort of, you know, when you're saying for the next hour or only on the call, you can do it only on live if you're not planning on sending out a replay, that's totally fine. So and then you can do a Q&A, congratulate your buyers in, all that kind of stuff, okay? So that's the main format that you're gonna use. I talked about the tools that you're gonna use, and yeah, they require a bit of, you know, a bit of experience, a bit of knowledge and understanding in how to use them. And trust me, things can go wrong. When you have to have a broadcast of a presentation that has audio and video, then yeah, you've got to make sure that displays are working, that people can see your display. So check that at the beginning when you're welcoming people on the call. Ask them, hey, have you got, can you guys see me? Can you guys hear me? Because there's nothing worse, and trust me, I've had clients that this has happened to, where nobody can, and actually it happened to me on one of my videos, one of my webinars actually. It happened where there's a setting, I think, on your Mac, the expose in your displays or something. I don't know if it still does this, but on GoToWebinar, it would often just show the black screen, even though it was showing you the screen. So people couldn't see, and I've heard of people who can't hear either. So doing a whole webinar where people can't hear. So try and either have a support person that can see you in the comment, that can monitor the comments and let you know what's going on. That can still be quite distracting, because if they're not in the room with you or they're texting you or whatever, you can get distracted. So trying to watch the display for the comments and make it part of the presentation. You can check in and say, I'm just going to check in on the comments, see what's going on, just to make sure you don't go off track and suddenly there's a tech issue and no one can hear and see you. Yes, when that happens and you can't fix it, it's super frightening. Or what happened to me once is my Wi-Fi, I was staying in a hotel and I had a Wi-Fi, whatever you call those things, I don't know, they're like little pocket Wi-Fi things, and I'd run out of data on it. So it just cut my webinar off, and I was just about to get to the pitch, and I had all these people ready, and I know the webinar was going well, and then boom, off. So I had to get them to come back on again. And you know, look, you can only do what you can do. Once something's happened, it's happened. Move on, reschedule, and go again. You'll be okay. The best thing is about webinars, yes, you invest in ads to get people to come if you aren't just sending it to their list to begin with. But then there's not really a big cost apart from paying for the software. So practice them, do them again and again. There's a guy I know who does webinars really well, and he coaches in them. His name's Toby Alexander, and I remember he said to me, you know, how many webinars you've been doing, Victoria? And I was kind of, like a couple a quarter or something, maybe one a month if I was lucky, maybe one every 2 months. I really wasn't making them a priority in my business. And I said, why? How many have you done? And I think he'd done something like 5,000 webinars. And I'm like, okay, that's why you're good at them and that's why you make a lot of money. So, there's a direct correlation between the more you do webinars, the more you'll grow your list and the more sales you make. So what are you waiting for? I want to see you out there. Everyone wants to hear from you and experience all the expertise you've got to share. So yes, it's frightening, but I know you can do it. So if you want to make a bigger impact using things like webinars, then like my Facebook page, head on over to YouTube and subscribe, or go to victoriagibson.com, where you're going to get my best free stuff and resources, and I can't wait to see you over there. Until next time.